Okay, so this is the sheep brain. This, you always do the hemispheres the way that the sheep's brain would be pointing. So this is the left hemisphere, this is the right hemisphere. From the bottom, this is the right, and this is the left. All right, so this part would be the cerebrum, this part would be the cerebellum, and then you can't really tell exactly where the divisions are on the brain, but if you kind of turn the brain to the side, your frontal lobe would be about this front part, your parietal lobe, your occipital lobe on your cerebrum, and then your temporal lobe is on either side. Your brain stem is this part right here, and that is also where your spinal cord comes out of, and then this is your pituitary gland. You can't really see it. You can't usually see it. It removes like this. And then these two flaps right here feed into your optic chiasma, which we'll get to in a second. Your olfactory bulbs are on the bottom here. Those feed into the olfactory tract, which is here and here. They feed into the occipital lobe at the back of your skull. And then on the top of the brain, you have two fissures that divide your brain. Your great longitudinal fissure goes down your cerebrum, and then your transverse fissure separates your cerebrum from your cerebellum. Your cerebral cortex is also another word for your cerebellum. Your cerebrum, it's this part of your brain. And then if you look and you pull back the cerebellum, you can see the corpora quadrumana. So that is your superior is on the top, inferior is on the bottom. Those would be your superior and inferior colliculi. And then if you flip the brain back over, this second hump on your brainstem is your medulla oblongata. This first hump is your pons. So your pons, medulla oblongata, brainstem, and spinal cord. And then if we open it up, so cerebrum, cerebellum, these are your arbiter vitae. They look like trees. And then you said they don't matter. And then this would be your lateral ventricle. This is housed in your corpus callosum, and then all of this is your lateral ventricle. And then you can see it here too. And then underneath that, this would be your thalamus. This would be your penile gland or your penile body. And then this is your cerebellum, and then your hypothalamus is underneath here. Another thing that I didn't go over. If you flip the brain over, this cross section right here would be your optic chiasma.
So the gyri are
and then your ventricles. Your fourth ventricle is this hole in your cerebellum. Your second ventricle, lateral ventricle. This is your second ventricle in here. And then your cerebral aqueduct is this channel right here. and this channel on this side, and it carries your cerebrospinal fluid from your brain, down your spinal cord. All right, and then gray matter is going to be, even though it's not gray, it's going to be the surface of the brain, and then as you move further in, the tissue gets lighter, and then white matter would be along here.
So the cerebral cortex can be always
And then this is how the brain fits back together. This is the thalamus. This would be the penile body, and then the hypothalamus would be along down here. The infundibulum would be this right here. It is what connects the pituitary gland to the rest of the brain. The central canal, you can actually see a lot better on this brain. It is this right here. And then the central aqueduct is over here. And then if you look, if you put the two halves of the brain back together, and then you look on the bottom, the optic nerve would come out of the front here, and they would connect, and then you can kind of see where they would connect to the eyes, which would be on either side of the skull here and here, and then they feed into the optic chiasma, which is this crisscross structure here, and then go back to the occipital lobe, where they would be processed.